a kiss on the lips tonight. Baby, will you do it right? I drew a picture of you with a smile on it, but then I kinda drooled on it.
What's up, everybody? I'm back. Today's review is Gresh. Before we get into the review, I just wanted to say hello. I know it's been a minute. I'm excited to be back. These videos have recently been quite the outlet for me. I wish I could post daily. I have a lot of fun every time I sit down to review one of these, but unfortunately, life continues to humble me and provide humility. If you watched my last Vorox review, I informed you that I was in the process of getting a new car, or that I think I got the new car. No, I think I just said I was in the process of getting it. No, maybe I did say I got it. I forget. Either way, to clarify 100%, I got that Subaru. And 3 days later, I returned it because it was a total lemon. I was mad. Bye-bye, Subaru. I was actually really thankful that I could return it because I was terrified that I wasted a lot of money and would not have been able to return it. Anyways, after doing that and returning to my old, beautiful Beamer, it proceeded to literally have an engine failure 1 day later. So I've gone from 2 cars to 0. And now we're enjoying the benefits of walking. But you know what? Where there's rain, there's rainbows. Because there's some good news too. My girlfriend and I are officially engaged. That gets a thumbs up. To all the haters that thought I was gay, autistic, or would never find anybody, if you are gay, autistic, or not currently in a relationship, I love you very much, and you are worthy of every joy life has to offer. Also, anyways, it's safe to say that it's been another tumultuous week for me in this pursuit of happiness that I'm quickly learning is a very frivolous attempt, and I'm not even sure if it's possible to obtain happiness. I think I'm learning the lesson of life at this ripe age now that I just have to be in the moment and enjoy every little win and every little simple pleasure, because there is no end goal that you're going to obtain and be able to go, now I can enjoy life. That's just not how this shit works, buddy. You have to just find time to review Gresh in the midst of the chaos. So thank you for joining me. Also just wanted to throw out there that if your flesh is the color of Gresh, it's recommended to thresh in a mesh in Bangladesh to refresh. So right off the bat, we all know that the general color scheme is one of the most important factors of the build for me, because it's just, you know, the visual representation right off the bat, the first impression. And Gresh has a A1 color scheme. I'm a big fan of the different shades of green, the dark green, the light green, and the multiple dual mold pieces that have both of those shades blended seamlessly. And another factor of this color scheme that I really like is that the kind of accent or base color is black, not gray. I really prefer black. I feel like it's a lot sharper and punchier, while also blending in a bit more with the brighter primary colors at the same time somehow. It just, like, the gray often seems a lot more dull, and it also sticks out like a sore thumb. So big fan of the sharp pure black and lots of green action. The colors are just lovely. As with the other few Glatorian and medium-sized sets in general, the legs are a very familiar build at this point, except the thigh armor is a new piece that we have not seen yet, I don't think, on this backwards journey through time. It's kind of this interesting 3-pronged claw sort of piece. The chest is also kind of interesting because you get these claw pieces as kind of these shoulder pads again, And you also get a Toa Anika chest piece in dark green, which I'm not sure if it's ever been that color before. So overall, a lot more going on the torso than a lot of other guys of this size. I will say that the way that dark green chest plate is mounted is a little awkward because in order to accommodate the shoulder pieces, it's not really pressed flush with like the black base torso piece. So there's actually kind of like this weird gap where it's not pushed in as much as it can be. And I'll be honest, that's kind of irking me in the build because there are like multiple little hollow pockets if you look at this guy sideways, but it's not a deal breaker, I wouldn't say. Moving on to the arms, they do feature probably my least favorite thing about the build, which is the very occasionally used, but not exclusive to Gresh, technique of having the arm armor be on the back. I think it looks very bad. I do not know why they do that. It just leaves the front of the arm looking exposed and backwards. I'm not that big a fan of it. Moving on to the weapons, this is a highlight of Gresh for me. He gets those dual tone kind of blade pieces, which he holds on the underneath side of the Glatorian fists, which I think looks really badass to be holding the blade like that. And on the side that has the Thornax launcher, he's holding that other blade the same way, which means the Thornax is mounted on an old traditional hand socket piece on top of the fist. So in that hand, he kind of has this just a straight up gun in his hand and the blade underneath it, which I think is super, super cool. Overall, a big fan of the way the Thornax launcher is incorporated in a hand that is also holding the unique weapon of the figure. On top of all of this, I'm pretty sure that Gresh can combine the two blades into the offhand to form a shield. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm doing that here in the footage at this point, hopefully, but the shield effect that these two blades create is even better than the dual blades almost. It frees up one hand to just be for the Thornax launcher, which is also fine, and having this shield in this style or this build in the other hand is super, super sick. I like this look, and I'm 99% sure it's a canon alternative build for these weapons. So I think that's really cool as well to have these kind of two weapon options. Lastly, at the top of the build is obviously the mask, and while it is a dual color mask, the sculpting on the mask itself I'm not crazy about. It kind of is giving like Optimus Prime vibes of like a shielded mouth guard, which you would think I would love because I'm a giant Transformers fan. But for some reason, something about this mask is just a little bit too simplistic for me. But it's definitely not a bad mask either. It's just kind of in the middle of the road. On the back side of this build, there's nothing too crazy going on. You obviously get to see these armor pieces now because they're placed backwards facing. So if you are looking at Gresh from behind, you get that little surprise. The life counter piece is a nice matte black, so that also blends in quite nicely. So, you know, Gresh is a pretty solid figure overall. I like his color a lot. As you can see, a good green Bionicle that's not too green like the 2010 version of him that we've already looked at. What was I saying? Anyways, this amount of green is good. This is a prime green Bionicle. You love to see it. The colors are lovely. I cannot stress that enough. His weapons are another huge highlight for me. They're super sick. And he has some cool unique elements like the shoulder pads. The negatives I would say to this guy are the awkward chest design. Here, in case you couldn't see before, were some visuals of how that green chest plate really doesn't snap onto the torso all the way, leaving lots of awkward gaps. And I'm really not a big fan of the backward-facing arm armor. Anyways, I'd say the cons are definitely less important than the pros to this guy. I do like Gresh overall. Do we like him more than the other Glatorian? They're all kind of high sevens for me. I quite like the Glatorian. There haven't been any big weak ones. I don't think Gresh is doing anything insane so far out of the 5 we've reviewed. So we're giving him a 7 7. He's pretty good. Thank you so much for being here. It makes me so happy just to think that you guys are watching these videos, learning a bit about Bionicle with me, or just having a light chuckle. Thanks for watching. See you soon.
Tell me she want a problem, she got it. Tell me she don't